Hi, Gianluca. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I am excited to be speaking with you all the way from Italy.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you for having me here and excited as well.
Well, let's start off and hear a little bit more about your current organization. What is your role at the company?
So I am the CEO of an early stage startup called WisePath. And we are a small team that is currently building a solution to measure and train soft skills using commercial video games. So we are, as I said, a small team with many hats, and mine is the CEO, Chief Revenue Officer, and Chief Marketing Officer as well.
CEO and founder?
CEO and founder, yes, we are two of us. It's my co-founder is in the United States. The company is a Delaware corporation that we opened just a couple of years ago, and we are hitting the market right now.
What inspired the creation of the company?
Oh my God. Back in during the COVID time, we began seeing that there was a wave of people that were beginning to wonder why they were doing the job that they were doing. They got out of the hamster wheel we were all on for many years because we were forced to. And so we began understanding that the problem had nothing to do with technical skills. It had to do with non-technical skills, still professional skills though. And so we identified these in soft skills. And for a couple of years, before we founded the company, we were looking for the right way to measure them. And that's when we managed to bump into a research that showed us that you could use commercial video games to do that. Mm. And so now we feel very confident we have a very accurate and then very engaging way to measure soft skills. And we think that this is what's going to make a huge impact in the market because of AI, because of the status of the job market today, and especially the new generations.
So you have a lot of roles at the company. I think you said Chief Revenue Officer, CEO, Chief Marketing Officer. I'd love for you to share, when you're thinking about marketing with your early stage startup, what are some things you're thinking about? What are some strategies you're wanting to deploy? And if you've been able to see, any degree of traction, what's been working so far in the early stages of the organization?
Look, I said the chief marketing officer exactly because there is AI is allowing me to do that. I wouldn't be able to be the chief marketing officer of the company without AI. But among the strategy that we are using the most, consider that for us, we are selling a product that didn't exist before, solving a problem that people has always sensed they had, but they never put their finger on it. So for us, it's like we are a startup, a small startup, so no brand. We need to create the awareness about the problem we are trying to solve. It's a huge problem. Once we make it clear, people understand it. But it's not something that allows us to go, lead generation strategy, traditional lead generation, mail campaigns, because people wouldn't understand what we're talking about. So for us, it's much more a question of relationship after relationship, building trust. So the marketing effort for us, it's really to get as many references as possible. So it's a game of building networks, creating trust, getting introduction, and enlarging that network of trusted people. So much more of a one-to-one, carefully prepared relationship and conversation that then opened up on us. It allows us to go, to multiply each lead that we generate by a certain number, because of course the trust that we build allow us then to get references and things like this. So it's much more, as I said, it's a much less than an automatic process than actually an artisanal process at this stage.
Yeah, and I love that answer for a few reasons. I actually last week or two, maybe it's 2 weeks ago, I was chatting with a friend who is opening up a law practice, and she was about to sign a contract for PPC services. And so as we started to talk a little bit deeper, she actually thought she was buying SEO, not PPC. And so I was sharing with her, I think one of the first rules of marketing is don't buy something you don't understand, because you're going to be really upset with the results. And if there's kind of this trajectory of where a business is at in its growth cycle, doing marketing that actually makes sense for that stage of the business.
Correct. And in fact, we do plan to go, to scale it and begin as soon as we build the brand, as soon as we have the use cases that we can blast out so that people automatically can establish that trust toward our product and our philosophy. Of course, we're going to go there. But right now, it's much more an artisanal job, as I said, because we have to create a relationship by relationship. And in doing that, we also understand better what is the best way to propose our product to the masses when we will go for it.
You talked about earlier how AI is your partner in crime as the chief marketing officer. I think that's fantastic. I was just helping my dad's dental practice this morning through the use of AI, and I don't have the background in dentistry, and it was a game changer in just how it took me 5 minutes to figure out the issue versus hours of Google research.
Hours,
So
yes.
how
Yes.
is can you share a little bit more about how AI is your co-CMO at the organization, or just other ways AI has
Yes.
impacted you?
Yes, absolutely. Because it has been a transformative event, the
Mhm.
appearance of OpenAI, which, by the way, came out at the same time that we built a company. So there's some sort of correlation there. Yes, it's exactly what you said. First of all, the ability to understand about a topic that I'm not familiar with at a deep level in the best way possible for me to understand it. It's like having a person expert in marketing that explains me things exactly the way I want to understand them. And the other side, it's really the work that this tool does. There is a
Mhm.
lot of debate right now about is it really thinking? Is it not thinking? Is it reasoning? Is it not reasoning? And that's for me, it's an academic conversation because even if only statistically is finding the right word to put there, it has been an amazing product for us. It allowed me actually to get rid of a complete marketing department and to do the work, especially related to what we do in marketing. As I said, it is carefully artisanship in creating that special conversation for the customer. It has allowed me to do research on that customer. It has allowed me to understand the tone of that customer. It has allowed me to write a small summary of big concept in a way that it's immediately available. And yes, sure, in some cases, it does sound like artificial intelligence. But if the point is to send an email that makes somebody understand something in a statement and be effective with that statement, who cares if artificial intelligence did it? It's clear or not. And in my case, it
Yeah.
has been an enormous help.
I do the same thing when I have a client email that I know needs a specific tone, and maybe I was triggered by their
Yes.
email. I'll go to AI to essentially I'll have my first draft of it, and I'll say rewrite this with a tone that's confident yet compassionate at the same time. And my writing capabilities are just not at that depth, so that's a great use of the use of tone in the
And
emails.
that's exactly the point. We are all good at something, but we are not good at everything.
Mhm.
And artificial intelligence right now and the generative artificial intelligence, machine learning wasn't this way.
Mhm.
This new type of artificial intelligence is allowing us to be good at other aspects as well. I mean, I know that I'm not going to be the best marketing officer, and there's people that knows marketing much better, and it's way more effective than my way of using ChatGPT to put together a marketing campaign. But for an early stage startup in which you need a very carefully thought approach without spending too much budget and in a way that you can update it very quickly if you see that it doesn't work, the tool
Mhm.
is phenomenal, man. It's really, it allows us to do things we couldn't be done for. And I'm not talking about the research aspect of it. Like we work with soft skills, we work in psychology, we work in pedagogy, we are working, the two sectors where we work on is education and enterprise. So two very different sectors. To being able to communicate to one sector and the other sector, you would need two marketing officer actually responsible for those two stages because they're very different work. And we all find it in one tool. So it's definitely transformative.
So my last question today would be giving any shout outs to some AI tools you see yourself using on a regular basis. I know you mentioned ChatGPT already. Are there any other LLMs you use or maybe standalone software that's been helping you?
Well, it's we use two, ChatGPT and Claude, because for as
Mhm.
much as I love ChatGPT, it's better to have also a little brother that checks what the other is saying. So we can
Right.
always match the two and see if one is hallucinating versus the other, or if there is some inconsistencies. That helps us a lot. So we use those tools. For me, much more than a marketing tool, what I'm seeing happening in the market is that we want to learn to build our own agents.
Mhm.
I think that it's much more effective. I mean, of course, if I would be a big company with thousands of employees, hundreds of products, then I want to have marketing tools, intelligent
Right.
marketing tools that I buy from a supplier, and I use them for a specific purpose, like a mail campaign or whatever it is. But I believe that that's good only for established big corporation, because all the new startups that are coming up, they're going to have their own way to communicate to the market, which grows organically from the early stages up to the growth stage. And you can build that very quickly and with the tools that are available right now with an AI agent. So I'm not seeing myself really, even in the next few years, going out and buying a product as much of building my product. Now, I'm not going to sell marketing because we do soft skills. But I definitely want to build mine. So the tools that we are beginning to explore, and we haven't chose one in particular yet, but the one that we're beginning to explore, it's the tools that allows us to build these agents and which LLM we want to build it upon. Those are the real question we have. Then we can definitely build our own marketing system, which is tailored to us and does exactly what we need. And of course, at a fraction of the cost of what cost have an external company or an external supplier giving us their product.
So Gianluca, thank you so much for your time today. Let's wrap up with any links, social media handles, best ways to follow up with you or your organization.
Well, definitely go and come and visit wisepath.ai, and you'll find all the information over there. There is a form if you want to, there is possibility to access the platform if you want to measure your soft skills, and there is a way for us to contact us. And you can find us, of course, on LinkedIn, both me and the company.
Perfect. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Andrew.
Before we jump into our next guest, we want to take a moment to tell you about our marketing mastermind cohort, No Typical Marketers. If you are a marketing executive looking to connect with like-minded professionals, this is the space for you. It's more than just a Discord group. It's your exclusive ticket to monthly roundtable meetings where we have group discussions about advanced marketing strategies, share insights, and solve real world challenges like implementing AI agents into your marketing. Membership is exclusive and by application only. If you're ready to take your marketing game to the next level, apply now using the link in the description below. We can't wait to see you there. Now, back to the episode.
Hi, Madhav. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I am excited to be speaking with you today.
Excited to be here, Andrew. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, let's start off and hear a little bit more about your organization and what is your role at the company.
So I run marketing at a company called Storylane, which is an agentic demo automation platform. The whole category sort of came up about maybe 4 years ago. And it's basically, yeah, it's sort of like, you used to have like product tutorial videos on your website, which is more of a passive experience for the buyer. Interactive demos are sort of like a more active experience for the buyer where they can actually sort of try the product, without actually signing up or sharing their credit card details, before they actually decide if they want to move further or not.
What inspired you to join the company?
I think, yeah, it was just a very interesting product. I think what was interesting was when I started talking with the founder, I was just so surprised that they looked so small, but actually in terms of revenue and customers and the product popularity, they were actually pretty big and they were really fast growing. So like I felt like there's a great opportunity to sort of really expand onto this blueprint. So I just sort of took it.
So what does the day in the life of Madhav look like at Storylane as a marketing executive? Tell us a little bit about how does that play out for you on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, so I majorly sort of see my role in like four parts, right? So one is I sort of manage all of our, like, so we're a marketing team of about 8 people right now and supported by contractors and agencies. So
Mhm.
I have a couple of like core channels, and I have like core leaders that sort of report to me from that. So, whether that's brand or organic search or influencers or events or social ads, outbound, it's a bunch of these. So I sort of run the day-to-day marketing operations with these folks. I am also constantly looking at finding new growth initiatives, any new growth experiments, anything that can sort of help us unlock our next growth
Mhm.
channel, and then also looking at ways on how we can sort of scale them. And then I'm also trying to find marketing team gaps and trying to fill them. So basically, anytime we feel that there's a gap that needs to be filled, or there's like a knowledge gap, or there's like a resource gap, I will try to find the right person into it. But basically, I just sort of on my head is sort of like this revenue number, and by the end of the year, so I need to hit it. So anything I can do with the budget that I have to be able to get us there is primarily my responsibility.
So you have a lot of responsibilities. It sounds like you have some aggressive growth goals, a lot of people, agencies you're managing. So I'm sure there's a lot of different marketing initiatives that you're deploying this year. But is there anything you can share with us of a marketing strategy that's proven to be successful under your watch?
So our biggest growth win was last year. We ran this experiment called demo-led SEO, which was basically so we one day like I think we'd been running our blog SEO traffic, and I come from an SEO background, so like um like I have like almost 15 years of experience in performance marketing before I enter into brand and creative and all of that. So that's the channel that I'm really confident in. But given all the changes that are happening within SEO and AI, that was the channel that I was like the least confident in. So we decided to do just something random, right? Like blog SEO is just not growing as fast as we wanted to. And we have an enterprise and a PLG product, and for a PLG product to grow, you just need a shit ton of relevant traffic. So we found a cluster of keywords, and then we created these pages, but instead of writing like text to sort of answer them, we basically just added a demo. So think of it like, okay, we found a keyword like how to merge a custom field in Salesforce, and this would be all of our ICPs that are reading that. So instead of showing it as like a step-by-step tutorial in terms of text and screenshot, we basically put it as a demo, and that was the page. It was just the title, the demo page, and that's it. And we tried it with 100 pages. I think about half of them ended up ranking on I think it was in like the first page, and like 1 out of 5 pages were ranking number one. And so in about 6 months, we grew from 20,000 to about 220K a month
Wow.
in traffic. And it actually, like, I think at this point, it's already tripled our PLG revenue. And we've closed a bunch of enterprise deals. That was a surprise. And I don't think there's been a single month. This strategy has been running for about 14 months now. There's not been a single month where we've had a dip in signups or dip in customers
Really?
coming. Like every month has just been growing insanely. And that was like, it was such a, because this is an SEO strategy that nobody's ever done. And it was just a random experiment. Like the whole premise was that, does Google really need text for for them to sort of rank your page? And clearly it doesn't, with all of the sort of changes that are going on. Like they are looking at page experience. So we basically scaled it up to about 7,000 pages at this point, still producing about 400 pages a month right now. And it's going really well.
So, what are your thoughts on the state of the SEO industry? As you see a lot of clickbait headlines saying SEO is dead, do you have people who maybe they have an SEO agency, they're saying, I have the secret formula? It sounds like you have a lot of really tangible experience in this space. What is your kind of state of the union of where SEO is at in June of 2025?
So SEO is not dying. I think it's evolving. That's at least how I see it. The playbook, we had 10 years of really sort of shitty playbook, which ended up sort of not really helping the buyers, and to the point where it's just everybody got frustrated. And now the playbook is very, very different. So it's so different that if you are even following a playbook from like 2 or 3 years ago, it's not going to work. It's
Mhm.
so different. So the way I see it is, I think there's like, so the cost to create content is zero, right? So content creation is not the major sort of thing, in the sense like writing the content is easy, right? So when we work with any content creators, it's got to be SMEs, it's got to be personal point of view. It's got to be like 99% research. You just got to do, you got to surface your experiences. You got to surface your own things. You got to bring something new to the table. Otherwise, you're just not going to survive that. So that's just on the content. That's a really small piece. There's two bigger pieces that I see. One is page experience. That's what a lot of websites that haven't really figured out, right? So when people think about page experience, they think about, all right, how do I load my page faster, or how do my images load faster, and all of that, right? But I think you can also differentiate with how you sort of show your content, right? Can you sort of have a different structure? Can you sort of surface demos like the way we did, right? Anything that can reduce the time to value for that particular blog, right? Can actually really help you sort of stand out and get a lot of traffic. That's one. And then with AI overviews sort of taking up, consuming a lot of the search term traffic, right? One thing that's worth investing in is brand. It's like there's never a better time for SEO and brand to be together, because it's like right now when you see the AI overview, you see like these three domains, and like the top three that sort of are used to create that answer. And most of the visitors are going to click on the domain that they actually know about. They've heard about it before, from a friend or in a community or on LinkedIn or whatever, right? So that becomes your moat. If your brand is strong, you'll get more clicks. If your brand is strong, you'll also get more traffic from LLMs. That's also another thing we've observed, right? So there's a lot of LLM focused strategy. Like SEO is just not Google. It's also now LLMs. It's also optimizing for perplexity and ChatGPT and Claudes and everything. So that's how I see it. The playbook, SEO is evolving, but if you evolve, you'll still continue to get the similar or even actually better results the way we saw it.
Can you share a little bit more on how AI has impacted your role as a marketer over the last few years?
Yeah, for me, I think so. The major thing right now is that it's kind of I don't know if it's a very positive outlook, but it's more like it's sort of eliminating the need quite often for new roles to sort of come into my team.
Mhm.
We're a team of 8, but every single time we have like a resource constraint or anything, right? There's always a solution with AI that sort of fills it. So right now we're at a
Right.
point where even though we're a team of 8, we're actually able to do the work of 20, 25 people, right? And we're at an AI adoption level of like maybe 2 out of 10. Like we're still really catching up on it. Right now, it's still primarily like sort of co-pilot sort of
Mhm.
conversations. It's just only beginning to, add in agents, but it's sort of like, it's just, you have the best copywriter in the house. You have the best, like the whole time to project, like we've launched massive campaigns that would have taken us 2 months in like a week. So I think that's what it's allowed us to do more with less, right? Of course,
Mhm.
I don't need a large team. I can have a lean team, but I can also ship things much faster, right? And one person can do a lot more work than the one person traditionally. So that's just been my observation from my point of view.
Are you seeing it as a replacer for your creatives? Instead of, I've heard this from a few CMOs on our podcast that, historically when they needed some design, they'd go to their agency and in-house employee, and it would take, a week turnaround. Now they're just using Canva on their own and they're just doing it in an hour. So are you seeing the need for creative talent as much?
We do need creative talent. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think it can replace that, because I don't think AI is at that level, in the sense like
Mhm.
for creatives, I mean, anything, the amount of time you would spend to get something out versus just having a great creative person is quite a big gap, right? But I think for the more bare basics, like creatives, like for example, visual brand identity, you can't give it to AI, because there's a lot of like your own points of view that bring into that, that's where you have the moat. You have the difference between what an AI can create and what you can create. But for like more basic level things like okay, I maybe I want to refine the copy for my website, right? That's easy. Or
Mhm.
if you want to sort of spin up a for example, an interactive demo, right? Earlier, like the implementation time, to add a demo could be weeks, months, could be like a couple of like maybe a quarter too, right? Today we are at a place where you can actually have a demo up in just 2 minutes with like a lot of like prompting and this and that, right? So Yeah, it's just, I think the more basic level tasks, it's continuing to improve and evolve. But the more sort of creative work that needs a human, right? It's not there yet. And I hope it doesn't get there yet.
So to round us out, can you just share any AI tools that you use on a regular basis, whether that's an LLM or maybe a standalone software you've discovered?
So, I mean, we use ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity for all different purposes, like whether that's for research or whether that's for training the models or whether that's like for, refining our copy or writing our LinkedIn post and all of that. But we are also using so we also use Storylane for our own thing. So like we have different sort of AI agents to create a demo or to, like like I think it's next week when we are basically sort of launching like an agent where it sort of sits on our website and then it can actually do the work of an inbound SDR. So it can qualify the
Very
folks,
cool.
it can sort of answer. So there are different sort of ways we're adapting it. We're also using Clay and sort of building different agents, different tools, you're taking grain recordings and uncovering different things there. So it's like Clay plus Claude. So it's a lot of, I would say, combination of existing apps plus the LLMs is how we're using it.
Thank you for your time today. Let's just round us out with any links, social media handles, best ways to follow up with you and your organization.
You can just find me on LinkedIn. Yeah, just search for Madhav Bhandari at Storylane. There's only one head of marketing at Storylane, so you'll be able to find me. I'm pretty active there.
Perfect. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.